So we're here at Spring Loaded 2023. This is Kris and Kyra from Heavy Mag with Tim and Kelly from the legendary Screamfeeder.
Hi.
Hi.
Great, you?
Good, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Cool. So you guys were straight off the bat today, which sometimes can be a hard thing, but the crowd was so welcoming and warm. So does that make it a little bit easier to get out there? And
Definitely. It's super hard going out first, but you know, all your gear always breaks. You always get the wrong songs and stuff like that. But you know, the crowd kind of don't care, and it's nice for them to see some human stuff.
Someone's got to start, and it is very hard to be the first band because the sound's going to be, you know, not quite right. We didn't do a sound check, but it was good. Tim's strap was falling off.
Yeah, in the first
which
song.
Has never happened. It never happens, and it's usually my job. And then mine broke at the very end of the last song. So the world's turned the way it should.
that's it. That's it. And how do you guys prepare for a show like Spring Loaded? Is it business as usual, or do you go instantly fan faves? Like that's,
You pretty much have to play a set that people are going to know because, you know, they are there to... They're not there to, like, really explore your back catalogue or anything like that. They're there to hear songs and have a good time, party and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like we just practice. You know, we know we've got a gig, so we practice. Business as usual in that regard. But we do have to put some thought into the set list because we... Like, you know, everyone's here to see everybody in lots of ways. They're not necessarily here to see one band. So you're not going to go do a bunch of obscure things that you really love playing. You kind of want to try and play all the hits. So you're going to be appealing to, you know, as many people as possible. And it's fun. And, you know, being the first band also, you want to make a big impression as well. Yeah.
Like, speaking of practice, like, are you the sort of band that gets in there and does a lot of rehearsal in the lead up to a show like this, or do you just sort of get in there and dust off the cobwebs?
2 practices is
probably halfway between the two. Yeah, so we try and kind of work, but you know,
actually we had 3 practices.
We did have 3 practices. Yeah,
because we were playing some new songs that we hadn't played. I mean, old songs that we hadn't played for ages, and we have a semi-new drummer. So he'd played 2 songs that he'd never played live before, and songs that we hadn't played for a really long time. So we do have to put a little bit of work in. One song we were playing in a different key than we normally would as well. So it was like, really having to turn your brain on, not just relying on muscle memory.
We got through it all right, though, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's someone or a band that you've remained close with since the 90s? Can't say Magic Dirt. Sorry.
Why?
because
we
that's
knew
an
you were
obvious
gonna say
one.
that.
We know that.
Yeah.
Well, we are really close with Magic Dirt. For me, it's Spiderbait as well. Like, I'm really good friends with Janet, and it was her birthday yesterday, and I spoke to her yesterday, and who else? Frenzal Rhomb we always love seeing.
Yeah, they're good friends.
Saved Jake's life, so.
No, Jay saved my life.
Jay saved
Yeah. Shihad, like, we played a gig with John Toogood not long ago.
Yeah.
We kind of play with all of these bands. Bodyjar are the band that we could probably know the least.
True.
But what was the question? Who's our favourite?
Who was it good, like, reconnecting with? And who have you stayed in touch with?
For me, it's Janet and Adelita, mostly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, speaking of this, you're like, how good is this place?
It's
like,
beautiful.
It's amazing. So good.
Where
Yeah.
can you play and come backstage like this?
Yeah.
The ocean behind you, like crocodiles lurking in
Yeah.
No
the
way.
background.
Crocodiles. I played a show in Port Douglas where literally there were crocodiles. As soon as you walked off the stage, they were there.
Wet from Cairns, so
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
So you know, yeah. There's nothing kind of like this. Like in Brisbane, you might play like the Gardens Point. What's that called? The River Stage.
Yeah.
That's still not as nice as
No, I
No.
mean it's you've got a city in the background and cliffs and stuff. But yeah, you've got an island and a bridge and a little beach.
Yep.
And blue
That bridge
trees.
is actually called the Screamfeeder Bridge, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Last year or the year before.
Frenzal's christened it for us.
It's the Screamfeeder Bridge.
Sure. Do you charge people a toll?
We sure
We
do,
should
but we haven't
actually,
received any
It'd
revenue.
be a good move, actually, yeah.
Must be Kris going across it.
Yeah, I got a text message today saying it's a 99th message they've sent me about not paying my toll to go to the gateway, and they're getting the shits with me.
Oh.
Wow.
Just claim that you've got like financial hardship and
I've actually, like,
Straight up.
I don't know if it'll hold up in court if it goes to court, but I come from Brisbane, and I remember when the Gateway was first built, and they said that once they paid it off, no one has to pay to go over
Oh,
again.
wow.
As soon as
Okay.
they got paid off, they sold it to a private investor.
Oh,
So in
wow.
my eyes,
Yeah.
like I didn't pay tax and stuff back then, but it's like, but
they don't
Wow.
deserve your money.
They've gone back on their word. You should give it
No, you
give
can
it a
give it
try.
a go.
Yeah.
You were lied to.
Yeah.
And-
one politician lies ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
it's a break of trust, and I think that's got to stand up in
It's
court.
broken my childhood. It really has.
And ours too, in
Hurts
retrospect
mine, yeah.
now.
I feel like
sorry to put it down on you.
I feel residual trauma. On,
Drama. Let's go. Screamfeeder is such an awesome name. I feel like it's just got legs. When I hear it, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's great. Where did it come from? What's the story? I don't know. So
It's a really terrible story. Like, honestly, you don't want to hear
Now
it.
we do want to hear it.
It's really bad.
it's going to disappoint you.
It's going to destroy your childhood
Oh, yeah.
twice
we should
over.
just start making up stories about it.
We should make up stories about it. Yeah.
That'd be better. Give us your best made-up
Yeah, go
story
on,
on
give
how
us-
the band name came
give us
together.
So I was in a graveyard one night digging up a corpse because I had to go to court the next day and I couldn't make it, so I had to send the corpse to court. And I dug up a corpse which had a dead rabbit inside it, and the rabbit wasn't quite dead, and the rabbit started screaming, and the corpse sat up and screamed, and you know it came from there. Do you remember that night? You were there.
Were you there?
I think we should stick to the like actual story.
That was really cool.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
mean,
At the time, I was
did,
believing
didn't
it. Yeah.
Have you got children?
Yeah.
You can tell. Because I lie to mine the same way. That's mine there. I bring it with me at every show.
Oh, nice. We just needed a name. We had
I
a
can
list
tell
of
you where it
names.
comes from. It's
Yeah.
pretty weird and not interesting though. So, shall I? Yeah. I grew up in England, right? And I used to go fishing all the time as a kid. And when we used to go fishing in the rivers and lakes, we used maggots as bait. You can go to the fishing shop, buy a box of maggots, live maggots, and it was great. And there's this little gadget that's a plastic tube with holes in it, and you put it on your line instead of a sinker, and you fill it with the maggots so they all crawl out on the bottom and attract the fish. It's called a swim feeder.
Someone can't spell.
And I was like, yeah, why don't we call the band Swim Feeder? And and a Scream Feeder, and everyone was like, yeah, that's it.
I don't know. I like it.
It's not bad.
Not many people know that, you know. Like, don't go shooting that around.
This isn't going on live or anything, so don't worry.
No. Is it live?
Oh my god.
Live streaming?
So Screamfeeder are one of those bands, like a lot of bands on the bill here today have stopped making albums. But do you guys still keep producing new music? Like you had our 5 Rooms came out in May last year.
Yeah.
But do you find like your older fan base is growing with the band and then supporting the newer stuff, or are they more like I like your old stuff better than new stuff?
Oh, there's half and half. Like, definitely the fan base love when we put out new stuff. And the more incidental listeners, they want to hear what they heard in 1996, 1998, 2000, you know. So, like, you got both. Yeah.
Right, so we got every time we do these sort of backstage interviews, we like to come up with something a bit quirky and a
Okay.
bit fun to finish it with. So,
You kind of undercut me there. I have one more question I really wanted to
well,
ask.
she's got one more question,
Okay.
Mark, so I'm going to shut up right now.
It is for your forewarning.
Yeah,
Or whatever they call that.
Unbelievable. No, I'm really stoked that I got you two. Because being in a band together for so long is hard. And I wanted to know, how did you get your chemistry, or how do you keep your chemistry and respect alive between each other to maintain that healthy relationship?
I don't like. It's just a healthy relationship. Like, we respect each other. We know how to work together. We trust each other musically, and we speak the same language. We've got a lot of similar taste about stuff. So with the same work ethic, like, we've got all these things that cross over, and it just meant that we've had a really good working relationship. We're good friends, and
Yeah, and the band's never gone anywhere, like, for example, super commercial, or there's never been tons of pressure on the band to do one thing or another. So we've always just been able to retain that vision that we both have and work along those lines.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
basically picking a good partner to do this with. Sticking
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
yeah, and like, you know, so we've had different drummers and other people
Yeah,
who've
true.
been like different managers, and different guitarists, but it's we've remained kind of like fairly connected to the
The idea. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
what
cool.
we've wanted to do. And it's about making music, and it's
Yeah.
not a bit. I mean, yes, it's a business in some ways, but it's more. It's never been about making money. It's always been about making music, and music that we like is
Yeah.
more than anything, really.
Perfect. Awesome.
I'm not playing now.
No, come on, play nice, play nice.
Okay, so yeah, we try and like ask a few quirky questions at the end of these just to sort of brighten the mood up a bit. So we've come up with a few now for you. So we'll start with, you can start with the first one.
Alrighty. If you could bring back any trend from the 90s, be it clothes, saying, anything quirky, anything that just sticks to your mind, what would it be?
I'd say the complete non-reliance on tech. So like not looking at phones, not looking at computers, just, you know, if you have to find some information, you go to the library and look for it, or you ask people, or you shop around, or you physically have to go somewhere, or things like that, you know, like something about that is awesome and magical compared to like so easy having everything at your fingertips and being bombarded all the time. Like it was such a lovely vibe being in bands and stuff where you wanted to pick up the telephone, sure, but then you get in your car and drive for 12 hours, you don't speak to anyone apart from the bandmates. And, you know, it sort of like seems really innocent now, but it was pretty great.
Yeah, like when you would make a plan to see someone, you would, you know, the
there.
next day, you're like, got to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've stood them up and you can't contact them. I don't know.
To me, that's just mind-blowing. Like,
I know,
yeah.
right?
You'd have to be there. I can't let them down.
Yeah.
I said 7 o'clock by that fucking post and I need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to say that one too.
Yeah.
Or pogs. Remember those pogs? Those little round things that you used to get? Like those Ren and Stimpy and... yeah, no one knows what I'm talking about. Forget it.
The nerd up here.
You remember pogs?
I'm all about it. We're cheering up here.
Oh, yay. Okay, that was one thing I remember from the 90s that was pretty very 90s centric. Thank you.
So if you had to cover one song from any band that was playing today, what song would it be?
Well, I actually play in a Ratcat band called Cat Rat. So
okay,
I've
you
sort
told
of
me
like,
about this,
I've moved ahead on that already.
Rat,
Yeah, you've cornered the market on covering other people's songs. I would maybe do Sparrow by Magic Dirt.
Yeah, cool.
I love that
Why
song.
that one?
I just love it. I just think it's a really, really great song. It's got a great chorus. The lyrics are awesome. It's, I don't know. There's just something about that song for me. I don't know if they play it a lot. I can't even tell you what album it's off. I think it's off Friends in Danger. I don't know. Do you know what that song? It's like, I'll be your engine when you go down, waiting to be a victim.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, anyway. That's me being Annalita very badly.
Oh, I love it. What would your 15-year-old self say if you told them you're still playing big festivals today in 2023?
Wow.
15-year-old me would just be like, get out.
Yeah, same, I reckon. Yeah.
I was like, you're cool. Yeah. I don't know. Like, this is what I've only ever thought about doing.
Yep. Cool. Love it.
All right, so we got the calculator out last night because I can't, fingers and toes didn't really cut the mustard. But all the bands that are playing today, I worked out how many years in total these have been going for.
Oh my
so
God,
take
wow.
a guess. How many do you reckon?
All of the bands?
Yep.
300?
Hang on. Wait.
Close. Oof.
How many bands are playing? 5?
8?
7.
7. 8, 5, 7.
Hang on, 1,
6, 7, 5,
309.
8 actually.
8.
In between both.
I'm not very good at maths. I'd say about 600.
Oof.
250. 250.
256.
256.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I chose that
It's a
number.
quarter of a millennia. Okay.
256 years.
256 years. It's not bad, eh?
What about like that's how long all the bands have like from when they
From when
started,
they started to now.
Yeah.
But what about bands who didn't do anything for a long time and were on
I
hiatus?
haven't got 2 calculators.
I need like proper data.
I'm fascinated now.
Yeah, 256 years of rock
Yeah.
and roll.
It's pretty cool.
But a part B to that question is, out of all those bands, which one do you reckon will be the last one standing? Like,
Screamfeeder.
Yeah.
great answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Straight
Ratcat.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There'll be multiple bands still. Us and Magic Dirt.
Yeah.
That's where life is. Not that the other bands aren't, but I don't know. I think we've just got the stamina and the...
Haven't we? What?
And, well, I don't know. Yes, I think...
Frenzal as well,
I
though.
was just thinking Frenzal.
Yeah.
They're like the horse that will never die.
They got that cockroach aspect about it.
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
got a cockroach aspect as well.
Yeah.
We'll like survive nuclear wars.
Yep.
Don't know. I mean, I might not be in the band next year. I'm always saying
We are
things
planning
like
on
this.
kicking you out fairly soon, but next year might be too soon.
It might be too soon.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to enjoy the moment with you while we've got
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah, you just never know. You just never know.
All right, well, these guys sound like they're about to kick off,
Yeah.
and we're not going to be able to
Awesome,
hear much,
let's
so
go.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good on you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.